Good evening. Welcome to the forecast discussion for January 16th, 2014. It's currently 4:22 p.m. We had a disturbance move through the region this morning with scattered rain and snow showers. Some locations over portions of eastern Pennsylvania even got about a trace to maybe even an inch of snow in some locations, 2 inches in very isolated locations over southeastern Pennsylvania. As this disturbance exited the region, the bulk of the heavy precipitation remained off of the coast because the pattern just isn't ready yet to support a major winter storm. We are starting to get colder air bleed in. In fact, we're getting new observations coming in right now. And basically, temperatures are falling into the mid to upper 30s throughout the region along the coast. Over the interior, upper 20s to lower 30s. Those temperatures will continue to fall through this evening, bottoming out tomorrow morning in the mid to upper 20s along the coast and lower to mid 20s over the interior. A few upper teens are possible in some of your valley locations. This time we will not be dealing with any fog, thankfully. So we can expect improving conditions, some slick spots. Watch out for some black ice, especially tomorrow morning. But for the most part, we're going to be dry for the next 12 to 24 hours before our next disturbance approaches the region. Now here's the latest radar. You can see all the steady precipitations off the coast. We have a few lingering rain and snow showers over New England. Here's our next batch of precipitation with a strong cold front that will move through this weekend, producing widespread showers, snow and rain showers. Again, not really expecting much in the way of accumulation here, but it's another step towards a very cold and very stormy weather pattern. And I'll show you why in the model guides in just a few minutes. Here's the latest infrared satellite picture, and you can see this storm really blew up over the Atlantic Ocean, but it couldn't get close enough to the coast because this disturbance was on the way and was kicking it right out. So right now we're basically in between these two strong dynamic disturbances. Again, if this was a little bit further west, this storm would have been rather impressive. I think more for the interior than the coast, should I say, because the cold air just didn't get in time along the coast. So as a result, probably more of a rain-snow mix if it was closer to the coast along the major cities, but it would have been a significant snowfall over the interior. But because of this disturbance diving in, well, kept the storm off the coast, and as a result, now we're starting to get high pressure build in for this evening. That's going to lead to scattered cloud cover by tomorrow morning. For Friday, high pressure will be in control with scattered cloud cover and temperatures rebounding nicely into the lower to mid 40s. Then this disturbance approaches for Saturday with scattered rain and snow showers and slightly colder temperatures by this weekend, with temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows on Saturday morning, mid to upper 30s for highs. On Sunday, look for lows in the lower to mid 20s and highs in the upper 30s to lower 40s. So pretty much near normal for this time of year. But let's take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, because this part of the satellite picture is why I love to use this tool to really show you exactly what is happening in the atmosphere. So here we have the water vapor satellite picture, and we can really see this pattern starting to take shape right in front of our eyes. We have a strong ridge starting to develop over the west coast and building into Alaska. Notice how this storm is moving due north, almost north-northeast to north, right towards the Aleutian Islands. The reason why this is happening is because we're seeing a ridge develop over the west coast. Meanwhile, look what's happening over the Atlantic. You see how this ridge is building here? See this dry air starting to expand northward? What we're starting to see is high latitude blocking taking shape. And as a result, our polar vortex is starting to dive south. Now this is just a regular upper level disturbance. The polar vortex is right around here. But notice where everything's going. Everything's going from northwest to southeast. That is where our polar vortex is going. And as this blocking and this blocking is solidifies and these high pressure ridges really take hold, that means all that cold air that's locked up in Canada and around the Arctic Circle is going south and heading right towards our neck of the woods. Meanwhile, look at the subtropical jet stream. This is basically our moisture, okay, for a weather pattern. And what's happening here is that this is starting to get a little bit more, I guess you could call it organized and intensifying. And as we move forward in time, this subtropical jet stream will cut across into California, finally bring some precipitation to California, moving into the southern plains and right up the east coast. So you got moisture, you have Arctic air, you have blocking. That spells trouble for February. But first we have to get through January, and there is an interesting storm that could be popping up on Tuesday into Wednesday. Let's take a look at the latest model guidance. So today I'm using the Canadian model guidance to illustrate what's happening in the atmosphere. Let me be very, very clear here. The models are, well, unreliable. That would be the best way to put it. And the reason why is because there's so much going on in the atmosphere that it's really hard to calculate. Think about doing 1 billion calculus equations in a span of a couple seconds. Not exactly hard, not exactly very easy, very difficult, and there's a large amount of error involved in it. And now you're dealing with a multiple amount of disturbances involved, a changing atmospheric dynamic, Arctic air coming south, blocking developing in the North Atlantic, the timing of that blocking. So there's a whole host of questions that need to be worked out. And that, of course, means more error. So we can't jump the gun on any one solution just yet. So for this weekend, it's pretty much straightforward. Again, for this evening, temperatures fall into the mid to upper 20s. For tomorrow, temperatures rebound to the lower to mid 40s as we're kind of in between these two disturbances. Notice how robust and impressive this upper level trough is. As we move forward into Saturday, well, that disturbance moves through. We're going to be dealing with rain and snow showers throughout the region Saturday evening into Sunday. Again, not a major storm. Could be some significant snow over the Green Mountains in New England. But I really don't see this as being a major player whatsoever. Again, it helps carve out the trough. So then for this weekend, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows, mid to upper 30s for highs on Saturday. Sunday, slightly warmer because we're going to have an easterly wind take hold. So that's going to, should I say a westerly wind take hold coming off the Appalachian Mountains. Now, we're pretty much in between the polar air mass and the Arctic air mass. That separation is going to allow our temperatures to warm up just a bit to normal in the upper 30s to lower 40s for highs on Sunday. So not too bad once you get into Sunday afternoon. A few scattered clouds here and there. You're going to be dodging some rain and snow showers in the morning, but nothing significant. This weekend is going to be perfectly fine. Moving forward, though, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. So high pressure is going to be in control for Monday. And, Monday's not going to be all that bad. You're going to have high pressure, scattered cloud cover, winds will be light and variable, a little bit colder, temperatures in the mid to upper 20s for lows, mid to upper 30s for highs, more like lower to mid 30s over the interior, though. Then it gets interesting. You see, this disturbance here on Tuesday, by the time we get to Tuesday, let's jump to Tuesday, this disturbance, as you can see, is racing towards the coast. We have our Arctic cold front moving to the east coast at the same time. They start to interact. They get together. They make some play dates. And before you know it, you get a nice little storm off the east coast. Now, let me be very clear here. There's a variety of different model solutions between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. The European model guidance says, hey, this isn't going to interact in time, and it's going to get kicked out into the Atlantic. No big deal. It gets cold. Big deal. The GFS, yeah, it interacts a little bit, and then it doesn't. The Canadian model guidance produces a big storm. You really can't jump into any one conclusion right now. Just know this. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, right now, is the best potential for a significant snowfall over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. It could easily stay far enough out into the Atlantic because the timing of the two disturbances interacting and the development of a low pressure system might take too long. Or you end up just right, like what you see here with the European model guidance, which leads to a very impressive winter storm. Now, let me be very clear here. The Canadian model guidance tends to be a bit extreme. So I don't really buy into the idea of a 984 millibar low sitting off New Jersey, but this kind of gives you the different solutions that are possible here. And the way that these solutions could differ is basically, when does this go negative? The European does it later. GFS does it way early. And the interaction of the two, well, then that's how you get different results. And that's why when you're watching the news, you'll probably see 10 different forecasts for the 5 to 7 day period. So just know this. Tuesday is going to get very cold. Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday morning could be very snowy, and could be rather interesting around here, I'll tell you that much. But we could easily miss out on this storm depending on the interaction and timing of when this low pressure system develops off of the mid-Atlantic coast. The longer it takes to develop, the less likely you'll see any significant snowfall whatsoever. That's the basic bottom line. As far as temperatures, look for upper teens to lower 20s for lows on Tuesday morning, mid-20s for highs, mid-20s for highs on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, lower teens, possibly single digits for lows on Wednesday morning. Highs in the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, lower to mid-20s along the coast. Once this storm leaves, high pressure will be in control. Won't be much of a comfort though. It'll be windy out there. And also temperatures aren't going to be moving all that much on Thursday. Looking for single digits to lower teens for lows, lower to mid-20s for highs along the coast. Most likely upper teens over the interior, if that. So the Arctic air is coming back. The polar vortex is dropping south. And I wanted to show you one other thing here. This is the 7 to 10 day average mean from the GFS, the European model against the Europeans here, GFS here, Canadians here. Why am I showing you this? See all this red? If you want warm weather, you don't want all this red up here. Okay? If you want snow, you're probably very excited about seeing all this red up here. What this basically means is that they're above normal heights over the Arctic and well below normal heights over the eastern two-thirds of the United States. And that's in agreement with the European, the GFS, and the Canadian. When you have strong agreement like this, now obviously you're going to have a little bit different details here and there, but you get the general idea. You get a ridge over Greenland, you get a ridge over the west coast, you get a ridge above normal heights over the Arctic. All that cold air is going somewhere, and it's going towards the eastern United States. Oh, and meanwhile, see this little trough out here, and here, and out here? That is your subtropical jet stream. So consider this. All this Arctic air is heading south, and all these little disturbances are undercutting that cold air. So you got moisture, you get cold air, and you get plenty of high latitude blocking. That means winter storms and a string of them. So February is not looking very good if you're an NFL owner. That is for sure, as the first week of February could pack quite a punch just in time for kickoff at the Super Bowl. Boy, that's going to be fun. Well, that's your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day and evening, and as always, stay safe out there.